Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudapadakamalaam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्याय देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hari Bol. So today, Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we start this second chapter, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. This will be a really nice chapter.
Hare Krishna. Can I read?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Sanjay Uvacha Tam Tatha Kripaya Ashru Purna Kule Kushanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. Uvacha, Sanjay said. Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjay said. Tam unto Arjuna, Tatha, thus, Kripaya, by compassion, Avishtham, overwhelmed, Ashrupurna, full of tears, Akula, depressed, Ikshanam, eyes, Vishidantam, lamenting, Idam, this, Vakyam, words, Uvacha, said, Madhusudanaha, the killer of Madhu. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion and very sorrowful, his eyes brimming with tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is real self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of drawing man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of the nescience cannot be saved simply by resuming his outward dress. The gross material body, one who does not know this and laments for the outward dress, is called a Sudra, or one who laments unnecessary. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not accepted from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul. As explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, this realization is made possible by working with the fruitive being situated in the fixed conception of the real self. Okay, Prabhu, it's like two shloka and then repeat.
Yes, Prabhu, you can do two slokas. Ribol.
Yes. Text 2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalam Idam Vishame Samupasthitam Anaryajastam Ashvargyam Akriti karam Arjuna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Kuta, where from? Tva, unto you. Kashmalam, dirtiness. Idam, this lamentation. Vishve, the hours of crisis. Samupasthitam, arrived. Anirya, persons who do not know the value of life. Jastam, practiced by. Asvargyam, that which does not lead to higher planets. Akriti, infamy. Karam, the cause of Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation. The Supreme Person Bhagavan said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets but to infamy. Purport. Krishna and the Supreme Person of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is ultimate in the absolute truth. Absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman or the impersonal, all-pervasive spirit, Paramatma or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this conception of the absolute truth is explained thus. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam jnanam advayanam brahma meti paramatma iti bhagavan iti shabdayet. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavatam 1 to 11. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is a preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advancement. And one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, uh, uh, and the glaring effulgence of the impersonal nature may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of the absolute truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal feature of the supreme absolute truth. Therefore, the bhaktas or the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the absolute truth are the topmost transcendentalists. All students who are engaged in the study of the absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter. The sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another. And yet the students of the three different phases are not in the same category. The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parashar Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, the supreme personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached, but no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, and etc. Entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayan, can possess opulence as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is a primeval He is primeval Lord or Bhagavan, known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because no one can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the preeminent Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. In the Bhagavatam also there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand. Ete chamsa kala apumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan swam Indriyani Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. All the list of the incarnation of Godhead submitted here with either planetary expansion or parts of the planetary expansion of the Supreme Godhead, but Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead himself. Bhagavatam 1:3-28. Therefore, Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, the source of both and the source of both the super soul and the impersonal Brahman. In the presence of the supreme personality of Godhead, original lamentation for this for his kinsman is certainly unbecoming. And becoming the therefore Krishna expressed his surprise with the word kutas, wherefrom such unmanly sentiments were ever expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagwan, and they are captivated by the external feature of the material world, and therefore they do not know that liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declining to fight. The act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help ones in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in the world. But Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, Haribol. Text number 3. Klaibyammasmagamah partha naidatvaya upapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvodishta parantapa. Klaibyam impotence, ma do not, sma take it, gamaha going, parta o son of preta, na never, etad like this, tvayi unto you, upapadyate is befitting, shudram very little, hridaya hard, daurbalyam weakness, tyaktva giving up, ushtita get up, parantapa o chastiser of the enemies. Translation: O son of Preta, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Purport: Arjuna was addressed as the son of Preta, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father, Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only, and if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives, but Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity not approved by authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna. Text number 4. Arjuna vacha katam bhishmam aham sankhye द्रोणं च मधुसूदन इषुभिः प्रतियोष्यामि पूजार्हाव Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna said, Katam how Bhishmam unto Bhishma, Aham I Sankhye in the fight, Dronam unto Drona Cha also, Madhusudana, O killer of Madhu, Ishubi with arrows, Pratiyashchami shall counterattack, Pujarhau, those who are worshipable, Arisudana, O killer of the enemies. Translation: Arjuna said, O killer of Madhu, Krishna, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Purport: Respectable superiors like Bhishma the grandfather and Dronacharya the teacher are always worshipable, even if they attack. They should not be counterattacked. It is a general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then how is it possible for Arjuna to attack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather Ugrasena or his teacher Sandipani Muni. These were some of the arguments by Arjuna to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, who wants the next one?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Gurun ahata hi mahanubhavan sreyo bholtum bhai afiya loke adhata kamam to gurun hi bhunja bhogan rudhira pradikdan. Okay. Gurun, the superiors, hatta by killing. He certainly Maha Anubhavam, great source. Shreya, it is better. Bhuktam, to enjoy life. Bhai, Bhai begging. Api, even Iha, in this life. Loke, in this world. Hatva, killing. Artha, gain. Kaman, so desiring. To, but. Gurun, superiors. Iha, in this world. Eva, certainly. Bhunjya, has to enjoy. Bhogan, enjoyable things. Rudhira, blood. Pradigdhan, tainted with. Translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki joy. It is better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though they are avaricious, they are nonetheless superiors. If they are killed, our spoils will be tainted with blood. Purport. According to scriptural quotes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discipline is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial consideration. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers, but Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. Na chaitad idmah kataran no gayo adhyeva jayama yadi vano yan iva hatna jiji bhisamsa तेभी तेभास्तिथा परम परम मुखे धा- धृतराष्ट्रा na nor cha also etat this vidma do know katrat which na as garia better yat what wa either jayame conquerors যদি if বা or না as জয় conquer yan those ever certainly hazva by killing na never jiji Jijivishma want to live. They, all of them, Ohisthista, are situated Paramukhi in the front. Dhritarashtra, the son of Dhritarashtra. Translation. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. The sons of Dhritarashtra, whom if we the sons of Dhritarashtra, whom if we kill, we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this battlefield. Purport. Arjun did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjun definitely prove that he was not only a great devotee of the Lord, but that he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of uh, detachment. He was truly virtuous as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was confident in all these attributes. Over and above his
बहता स्वभाव
enormous attributes in his material relationships.
Hare Krishna Sai Prabhu, can I read?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, you can read next one. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Chora, Prabhu. Haribol.
कर्पण्य दोषोपहता स्वभावा पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता यच्छस्य सन्न्यानिशितं तु निभ्रं तन्मे शिष्यस्य तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् कृपण्य miserly dosha weakness pahata being inflicted by swabhava characteristics pachami I am asking tvam unto you dharma religion Sammudha, bewildered, Cheta in heart, Yat Vat Shreya, all good, Syat maybe, Nishitam, confidentially, confidently, Bruhi, tell, Tat, that, me, unto, me, Shishya, disciple, Te, your, Aham, I am, Sadhi, just instructed, Mam, me, Tvam, unto you, Prapannam, surrender. Translation now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. Purport. By nature own way, the complete system of material activity is a source of perplexity of everyone. In every step, there is a perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blaze without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blaze without being set by uneven. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of the automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one want fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advised that in order to solve the perplexities of life and understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession a person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It, it is he who does not understand the problem of life. In the Garga Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as fellow. Yova yattada eksharam gargi aviditva aviditva lokat prati sa karpanna. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problem of life as a human and who does quite quit with world like that cats and dog without understanding the science of self-realization. The human form of life is the most valuable assets for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problem of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana who or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. The Kripana or miserables person waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. In the material conception of life, one is often attached to the family life, namely to five children and other member. One, the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thing that he is able to protect the protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thing that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such a family attachment can be found even the lower animal who take care of the children. Also, being intelligent, Arjun could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the cause of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserable weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talk. Talk between the master and disciple are serious now. Arjun wants to talk very seriously because before the recognized spiritual master, Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjun is the first disciple of understanding the Gita. How Arjun understand the Bhagavad Gita stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to the Krishna as a supreme, but the unborn Krishna is the person, but the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishnas within the without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. Text state nahi prapashyami mama ma nahi nahi prapashyami mama panutyad yachokam uchchasanam indriyanam avapya bhavam aspatanam raddham rajayam saranam api chadipate patayam. Trans- Translation: I can find no means to drive away this grief which is trying up me senses. I will not able to destroy it even if I win in unrevealed kingdom of the earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Purport: although Arjun was putting forward so many arguments based on the knowledge of the principle of religion and moral codes, it appeared that he was unable to solve this real problem without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problem, which is where drying up his whole existence. And it was possible for him to solve such a perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc., all are useless in solving the problems of life. Help can only help can only be given by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problem of the life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is the real spiritual master. किबा विप्र किबा न्यासी शूद्र कीन नया के कृष्ण तत्ववेता से गुरु होया. It does not matter whether it does not matter whether a person is a vipra, learned scholar in a Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is a master in the science of Krishna, he is the perfect and a bona fide spiritual master. So, without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in Vedic literature, Satyakarma nip Satyakarma nipna vipro mantra tantra vishartah avish Avaishnava Gururna Sayed Vaishnava Swapacha Guru. A scholarly, the scholarly Brahman expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge and unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna consciousness. The problem of material existence, birth, old age, disease, and death cannot be contracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, these are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed. Yet, that problem of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna or the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economics development and material comforts could drive away one's limitations of family, social, national, or international inabilities, then Arjun would not have said that even an unrevealed kingdom on earth on a supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would not be able to drive away his lamentations. He saw, she saw, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysm of material nature. Even evolution into a higher planetary situation as men are now seeking a place on the moon planet can can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirmed the Krishna Punya Mrityalo- Mrityalokam Vishanti. When the result of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politician of the world have fallen down in the way such a downfall only constitute more causes of lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for a good we then we have to take shelter of Krishna as Arjun seeking to do. So Arjun asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, one more verse. I read this. Text number 9. Or maybe a few more. But okay, I read next one. Hare Krishna. Sanjay Uvacha Evam Muktva Rishikesham Udakesha Parantapa Nayotsya iti Govindam Uktva tu Shinim Babuvaha. Sanjay Uvacha, Sanjay said, Evam, thus Uktva speaking, Rishikesham unto Krishna, the master of the senses, Udakesha, Arjuna, the master at curbing ignorance, Parantapaha, the chastiser of the enemies, Na Yotsye, I shall not fight, Iti, thus Govindam, unto Krishna, the giver of pleasure, Uktva, saying, Tushnim, silent, Babuva, became, certainly. Translation. Sanjay said, having spoke thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjay disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies, Parantapaha. Although Arjuna was for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to the family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness, and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated, since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Okay, Hare Krishna. Who wants to read the next one?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Please
Hey.
accept me humble obeisance. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Tam uvacha Rishikesha param parahassan eva bharata senayor ubayor madhye visidantam idam vacha tam unto him vacha said Rishikesha, the master of the senses, Krishna Parahasan, smelling evil like that Bharata, O Dhritarashtra, descendant of Bharata, Senayo of the armies, Ubyo of both parties, Madhya between Visidantam unto the lamenting one, idam the following words. Translation: O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smelling in the midst of both armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Prabhupada by Srila Prabhupada. The talk was going on between intimate friends, namely the Rishikesha and the Gudakesha. As friends, both of them were on the same level, but one of them voluntarily become a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as a master of everyone. And yet the Lord accepts one who wishes to be a friend, a son, a lover, or a devotee, or who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as a master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master with gravity as it is required. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies, so that all were benefited. So the talk of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society, or community, but they are all for all. And friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. Text 11. Can I continue? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, you can continue.
Okay. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochan Avyaschostavam Prajnan Vadamscha Bahasese Katasun Agatsumascha Nanu Sochanti Panditah. Prabhu, little bit scroll, zoom out, Prabhu, zoom out. Little bit, Prabhu. Okay, little bit. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Oh, Asocyan, that which is not worthy of lamentation." and and was you are lamenting Tvam, you Pragnavadhan, learned talks cha also, Vasase, speaking Gata, lost, Asun life, Agatha, not past, Asan life, cha also, na never, Anu, so Chanti, lament, Panditaha, the learned. Translation: the blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Purport from A.C. Bhaktivinoda Srila Prabhupada. The Lord had once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. The Lord said, "You are talking like you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one whose what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. As it will be explained in later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance in politics or sociology, but he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme in even more important than religious formularies. And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is designated to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body. Can I continue, bro?
Yes, Prabhu. Let's read one more. Haribol.
Okay, okay, bro. Thank you. Natao evam jatu nasam natvam neme jana dvipha nachaivana bhavishyam sarve vyavam atha param. No, never to, but Eva certainly I Jatu become na never some existing na it is not so evam yourselves na not me all these jana dhipa kings na never cha also Eva certainly na not like that Bhavishyam shall exist survey all of those Vyaham we Atha Param her after translation never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these things, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Purport in the Vedas, in the Katha Upanishads, as well as the Shvetashvatra Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities in terms of their different situations according to individual work and creation of work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is also by his plenary portion live in the heart of every living entity. Only blind persons who can see within the and without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. Nityo Nityanam चेतनानाम् एको भवनां यो विदधति कामन् तम् आत्मास्तं ये नुपश्यन्ति धीरे तेषां शान्ति शाश्वते नित्यस्यम् Nitrayesam. Okay. Katha 2.213. The same Vedic truth given to Arjuna in is Prabhu, the same Vedic truth given to Arjuna is given to all persons in the world who possess themselves as very learned, but actually factually have but a poor fund of knowledge. The Lord says clearly that He Himself, Arjuna, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are internally individual big beings, and that the Lord is eternally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their conditioned as well as in their liberated situations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Individual Person, and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is not that they did not exist as individuals in the past, and it is not that they will not remain eternal person. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interpretation. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. The Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individuals are separated from by the covering of Maya or illusion will merge into the impersonal Brahma and loss its individual existence is not supported herein by Lord Krishna, the supreme authority, nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned soul, conditioned states supported herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others as it is confirmed in the Upanishads will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subjected to illusion. If individuality is not a fact, then Krishna could not have stressed it so much even for the future. The Mayavadi may argue that the individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting the argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways, and impersonal Brahma has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. A common man with all the four effects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. The Gita is about such literature. No mundane book appears with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, the Gita loses all importance. The Mayavadis argues that the plu- plurality mentioned in this verse is conventional and that it refers to the body. But previous to this first such a bodily consumption is already contaminated. After contaminating the bodily consumption of the living entity, how was it possible for Krishna to place a conventional proposition on the body again? Therefore, individuality is maintained on spiritual grounds and is those confirmed by great acharyas like Sri Ramanuja and others. It is clearly mentioned in many places in the Gita that the spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of Lord, those who are envious of Lord. Krishna has the supreme personality of Godhead have no bona fide access to the great lecture literature. And the non-devotee's approach to the teaching of Gita is something like bees clicking on a bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the magicism of the Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees, and no one else can taste it. Stated in the fourth paragraph of the book, nor can the Gita be touched by persons who envy the very existing of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of the Gita is the most misleading presentation of whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has uh, forbidden us to read commentations, but commentations made by the Mayavadis and warns the one who talks to such an uh, understanding of Mayavadi's philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of Gita. If individuality refers to the empirical universe, then there is no need of teaching by the Lord. The plurality of the individual soul and of the Lord is an eternal fact, and it is confirmed by the Vedas as above mentioned. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu,
Yes,
I mean,
Prabhu.
in this verse, Lord was saying that individuality all sentences. That means can you understand? Can you explain me? Some,
Yes, Prabhu, this is one of the most important verses of this 212, because
uh,
here it is explained that we have always been individual, we are now individual, and in the future we will also be individual. So in this,
uh,
Krishna clear makes it really clear that we are not all one and the same. We are,
yes,
our origin is one and the same, but still we are different. That is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, one and different. So, because the
okay,
Mayavadis think that we are just one and the same, there is no difference, that
yes,
everyone
yes.
is God. But here Krishna makes it. And the next one is also one of the really important verse. This here Krishna explains to Arjuna clearly the science of the soul, and that's what the soul really is, and that he's not the body, and he should stop crying and start fighting, because anyways the body will go. So even if he fights, the body will go, and if he doesn't fight, the body will go. So Krishna is saying that we are all individuals, and the bodies, they will go anyways. So there nothing is lost even if you kill all your family members. So he's teaching like this.
Yes. Can I read this, bro? This verse?
Yes, Prabhu. And
This
after this
time, sorry.
also the Inosmini
No,
Komaran.
sorry.
Then there is
They know sim
Ahanya
metade.
this one. One second.
Okay,
Yeah, these are all the way to the 16. It's amazing verses. I was searching what verse is that Nahanyamane Hanya, that verse. Does anyone remember what it is?
they know sim. Huh? Which one, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, that verse. Which one it is? What is the number? I
They
forgot. Oh, yeah,
13,
yeah.
13, 13.
Yes, bro. Okay, we can read it.
Okay, 13, bro, 13.
Are you seeing it? Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Yes, bro.
no, bro, 13, 13.
Is it
Yes, bro.
explaining?
Thank you, bro.
Yes.
They know sim. It's clear, bro. It's clear. Now it's clear. They know sim metade kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara prapti tirastatra namyate. Good, bro. They of the embodied in this yata as they in the body komaram body boyhood uh, you yovana youth jara old age tata similarly dhira tatra transform transformance of transference of the body um, pratpitha achievement dhirah the sabor tatra thereupon never muyoti deluded. Translation: as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Report from Messi Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing its body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul, okay, the same spirit soul is near and is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrated transmigrates to another body, and since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, neither material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma, for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice, rejoice, okay, for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. But sorry, such changes of bo- body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have neither spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So, in neither case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is near deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls could make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme soul being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the supreme exists eternally, sanatana, and are called Krasara. That is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so. So, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same fragmental, but once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the super soul who is present in each and every individual body, and he is known as Paramatma, who is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represents both the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities, and the sun or moon can to the supreme lord. The individual fragment of spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the supreme soul is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of the fourth chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then their relationship of instructor and instructed becomes meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusionary energy Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction could be useless, because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be authoritative instructor under the circumstances. It is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity. Arjuna, who is a forgotten soul deluded by Maya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, we can continue tomorrow.
Hare Krishna. Okay,
So
bro. Thank you
it
so
was,
much.
it was this. Yes, I was talking about this verse.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
न जायते म्रियते व कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्य सस्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. I remember this because in the Nimanitai Prabhu's and Sudama Prabhu's the kids lectures, always Nimanita Prabhu teaches this to Sudama Prabhu. So I remember from that the soul has
Okay.
never birth nor dead, nor having once been, thus he ever ceased to be. Yeah, this is the basic verse for explaining what the soul is and the qualities. He's unborn,
That's true.
eternal, ever existing, undying, and primeval. He's not slain when the body is slain. Yes,
That's
in
true.
different ways, Krishna tries to explain the same thing, that we are individual and eternal. So these verses all are about that.
Yes, Prabhu.
So tomorrow we continue from this. Now let's go to
Yes,
6.
Prabhu. Okay.
चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावादूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारि बहुधोज्ञ सर्वशक्तिर्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवं ममापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् अहज्जनीननुग्रह
तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्महि जन्मनीश्वरे भगवद्भक्तिर्हैतुकीतवे
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवां पुतो कृप तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गदलं न अश्रु नयनं गदाशुधरहाय वदनं गद्गदारुधाय गिरा पुलकिर्निचिन्तं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति श्रुति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्शायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
ऐश्वर्या वापदा रतं पिन्यस्तु मां अदर्शनं मार्म हतं करुत्वा यथा तथा वा विदधतु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनास्तु स्त एव न परः
Haribol. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name can only your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and those you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. These are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, some considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted, but by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
हरि बोल श्री सत्यस्तकम की
Thank
जय,
you so much.
नाम
Jai,
की जय, पंचतत्व की
jai,
जय, नित्यानंद
jai,
प्रभु की
Jai,
जय, श्री कृष्ण
jai,
चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, जगत गुरु
jai.
Jai,
स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, जय गौर प्रेम
Jai.
बोल।